Hello, I'm Bailey Rivas with Petersen Hastings Wealth Management. I'm a financial advisor. Today I'm with Ben Tanke, retirement plan advisor, and today we're going to talk about budgeting. So Ben, budgeting, where does someone need to start?
Yeah, so that's the big question. How do I get started making a budget? People that want to start maybe don't have a framework or an idea. So we're gonna talk a little bit about some ideas that might work for people. People can kind of adapt it for their own individual situation. There's no one exact science necessarily to creating a budget. What may work for me may not be best for you. But one method for a framework of creating a budget is what we like to call the 50-20-30. So all that is you look at your monthly paycheck and you divide that up. 50% going into fixed expenses, 20% into financial goals for down the road, and then 30% is more flexible dollars. So let's take a look at the 50%. So these are fixed, absolutely have to pay every month expenses. So these are things like utilities, mortgage, rent. So you know what they are, and this is going to be the lion's share of your paycheck that's going to go into there. So that 20%, that's for other financial goals. So maybe you're looking at paying down credit card debt. Maybe one thing that we recommend is creating an emergency fund. We like to have people have at least somewhere between 3 and 6 months of expenses saved up in some sort of emergency cash type of account, if you will, where you can get access to it relatively easy. Then that final 30%, that can be a little bit more flexible, and some of those expenses can change month to month. So this is things like going out, entertainment. Your food bill can change a little bit from month to month as well. So that in a nutshell, is that the 50-20-30.
Okay. Yeah, great. I'm glad you mentioned the 30% because that just tells people that you can live your life and still budget and meet your financial goals. But when we look at the 20%, how does someone decide how they're gonna divvy up that amount? Do I go all in on debt? Do I allocate all of it towards investments? How do you kind of decide which way to go?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and maybe kind of take a step back, and a lot of people don't even maybe have a great handle on what their current, where their money's going currently. So we provided a worksheet to go along with this that you can outline and look at all your monthly expenses, and it's a good exercise to do. It's just write down where you're what you're paying on every month and kind of see where it's going. So you might see that, geez, I'm spending way more on this flexible account than what I should be, and maybe nothing on that middle 20%. So that's probably the first thing. But then as far as prioritizing, what you would want to put into those financial goals, the first thing, and this is kind of an assumption that we maybe neglected to say, is we're already counting on you to put money into your company-sponsored retirement plan. Okay, that's a given. So we're talking about our paycheck after we put our money into the 403b or 401k plan, if you've got one of those. So this is that paycheck after that. So you wouldn't want to necessarily start dumping a whole lot into an other investment account outside of that retirement savings plan that your company offers. First, you want to look at emergency money. You would want to build that up first. You definitely kind of want to do that in tandem, paying down credit card debt, any high interest rate credit card debt. You'd want to get working on that before you would start saying, well, I'm going to look at this other stock trading account and put some money in there.
Okay, great. One of the other questions that we get a lot is, how much should I be paying towards my mortgage? Do I need to make extra payments, or is that not necessary?
Yeah, another great question. We get that a lot, and people say, well, why would I want to pay extra on my mortgage? Well, if you look at your mortgage statement, every year, part of that monthly amount that's going in is towards the principal, so that pays down the original loan amount. But then another good portion of that is going to be in interest. So if you are paying extra payments, or maybe you're making a couple extra every year that go directly toward that principal pay down, that over time is going to reduce the amount of interest that you're going to be paying on that loan over time. And that's something, even a simple calculation where you can calculate what your interest, how much interest you're going to pay over the course of the loan. But if you add a few principal only payments, you'll be amazed at how much interest expense that's going to reduce over time.
Great. I kind of want to back up to the 401k. You said this is money that's been hitting your account after you put money towards your 401k, taking part in that. How much do I need to save for retirement? How do I get there?
Yep. We get that question a lot, and a lot of it depends on where you are in your working lifetime, so to speak. So general rule of thumb, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you're going to be wanting to put away, first of all, you're going to be wanting to put enough into the plan to get the company match, okay? That's a no-brainer right up front. Then you want to look at your own situation, in that 5 to 10% range of your paycheck should be going into your 403B or your 401k, company-sponsored retirement plan early on. As you get closer to retirement, so maybe in your late 30s, 40s, you might bump that to 10 to 15%. The idea is, the more money that you can put in earlier on, the better off you're going to be coming to retirement time. But there again, it's about your budget. Make sure that you can cover that 50, 20, 30. So you're not going to go ahead and put 20% of your pay, into the plan and then not have enough to cover those other expenses as well.
Still got to live, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to summarize everything that we talked about, and someone needed the highlights, what would you say to someone?
Yep. Don't procrastinate, okay? Because just keep putting it off is only going to compound the problem. Find a system that works for you. We're providing you kind of a framework that you can maybe adapt for your own situation. And use the worksheet. Create look at where expenses are going, and then maybe you can adjust. And once you create a good habit, then you don't even have to really think about it going forward.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm Bailey Rivas, and this has been Tanke with Petersen Hastings. Thank you for watching.